Perfect. Here's your 20,000 character English story. Emotional, heartfelt, and kindness-driven, based on your title. The invitation lay on the kitchen table like a quiet bomb. Elegant cream paper, gold trim, the kind that whispers of money and perfection. Emma stared at it for a long time, the embossed names blurring in her eyes. You are cordially invited to the wedding of Andrew Carter and Vanessa Green, her ex-boyfriend, the man she'd once thought she'd marry, the man who broke her heart 2 years ago with a message that began with, "You deserve someone better." She'd moved on, or at least she told herself she had. She'd changed cities, jobs, friends, even hair color. She'd buried that chapter under the noise of busyness. But now, staring at the elegant script, it felt like every scar she'd stitched together had been sliced open again. Emma dropped the invitation into the trash. Then she took it out again. Typical. She couldn't decide whether to ignore it or face it. The worst part? Vanessa, her ex's bride-to-be, had once been her friend. That evening, her phone buzzed. It was her coworker and closest confidant, Tessa. "Tell me you're not going to that circus," Tessa said after hearing the story. "I don't want to," Emma said softly. "But I think I have to. For closure." "Closure?" Tessa scoffed. "Honey, closure is when you delete the number and eat ice cream. You don't attend the wedding of the guy who turned you into a motivational quote." Emma laughed weakly. "I just want to show I'm fine. Like, really fine." Tessa sighed. "Then you'll need backup. Someone confident, handsome, safe." Emma frowned. "Like who?" Tessa smirked. "My cousin, Noah." "Noah? Single dad. Great guy. Ex-army. Teaches art classes for kids. Trust me. He'll make your ex question every decision he's ever made." Emma hesitated. "I can't drag a stranger to a wedding just for show." "He owes me a favor," Tessa said. "Besides, he could use a night out." And that's how, 1 week later, Emma found herself sitting in a small cafe, waiting to meet Noah Hayes. When he arrived, she almost forgot to breathe. Tall, in a simple button-down shirt and rolled sleeves, carrying the air of someone who didn't realize how effortlessly charming he was. There was warmth in his eyes, soft, steady, the kind that made people feel safe without a word. "Emma?" he asked, his voice calm and low. She nodded. "Noah, hi." They shook hands, and she noticed the faint paint stains on his fingers. "Tessa said you teach art," he smiled. "Kids' classes. It's more chaos than art, honestly, but I like it." Something about his honesty disarmed her. They talked for an hour. About life. About kids. About why pretending to be someone's date for one night wasn't the strangest thing either of them had done. "Are you sure you're okay with this?" she asked before they parted. He grinned. "Hey, I've survived finger paint explosions and kindergarten tantrums. I think I can handle a wedding." The day came too soon. The venue was stunning, a vineyard bathed in sunset gold, the kind of place where even the air smelled expensive. Emma wore a soft blue dress that brushed her knees, her hair in loose curls. When she stepped out of the car, Noah's gaze lingered, not in admiration, but in quiet awe. "You look peaceful," he said simply. She smiled faintly. "That's one word for it." Inside, heads turned. The whispers began. Old friends, curious ex-colleagues. Emma came, and with someone. Andrew, her ex, spotted her from across the room. His expression flickered between surprise and confusion. Vanessa, perfect as ever, smiled too brightly, gripping his arm. Noah leaned closer and whispered, "You want to leave?" "Not yet," she murmured. "Let's survive dinner first." As the evening went on, Emma found herself laughing, really laughing, for the first time in ages. Noah had a quiet humor, a way of noticing small absurdities that made her forget she was surrounded by ghosts of her past. When Andrew finally came over, his tone was polite but uncertain. "Emma," he said, "you look well." "Thank you," she replied evenly. "Congratulations." His gaze flicked to Noah. "And you are?" "Noah," he said, shaking Andrew's hand firmly. Emma's date. Andrew nodded, trying to hide his discomfort. Vanessa joined, chirping with exaggerated warmth. It's so nice you could come, Emma. Emma smiled. It's nice to see you happy. After they walked away, Noah murmured, They didn't expect you to glow. She laughed softly. I'm not glowing. You are, he said. It's what happens when you walk away from the wrong person and finally start being yourself again. Something inside her melted. Later, when the music slowed, he offered his hand. Dance? She hesitated. I don't know if I remember how. He smiled. I'll lead. Under the fairy lights, they swayed slowly. For the first time that night, Emma wasn't pretending. She wasn't proving anything. She was just present. As the song ended, she noticed Noah looking past her shoulder. His expression changed, softened. She turned to see a little girl standing nearby, holding a bouquet of tiny flowers. Daddy! The girl said, running into his arms. Emma blinked, surprised. This is... Noah smiled sheepishly. This is Lily, my daughter. My sitter's at the reception next door, but someone got tired of waiting. Lily looked up shyly. Hi, you're pretty. Emma knelt, smiling. Thank you, sweetheart. You look like a fairy, Lily giggled. Daddy says fairies are real when you believe nice things. Emma glanced up at Noah. His smile was small, but it carried a world of love. I'm sorry, he said quietly. I didn't want to overwhelm you with the full package tonight. Emma shook her head. She's wonderful. Later, when they sat outside under the stars, Emma asked softly, You really raised her alone? Yeah, he said. Her mom passed when she was 2. It's been just us since. She felt her heart tighten. That must have been hard. He looked up at the night sky. It was. But she gives me purpose. You stop counting what you've lost when you realize what you still have. The words hit deeper than he knew. Emma had spent years mourning what she'd lost instead of cherishing what she still had, a chance to start again. When the wedding ended, Noah walked her to her car. Thank you, she said softly. For what? For reminding me that real happiness doesn't come from showing people you're fine. It comes from actually being fine. He smiled. Then I guess the mission was a success. She laughed. More than you know. Before she left, Lily ran up and hugged her leg. Come paint with us sometime. Emma smiled, heart full. I'd love to. Days turned into weeks. She did visit them, once, then again. At first, it was just painting with Lily, but slowly, laughter and dinners followed. Noah's apartment was full of life, crayon drawings on the fridge, toy cars under the couch, music playing softly in the background. One evening, as Emma helped Lily with a school project, the little girl looked up and said, Daddy smiles more when you're here. Emma froze. He does? Lily nodded. You make our house warmer. That night, as Emma walked home, her eyes filled with tears, not from sadness, but from something new. Hope. Months passed. Emma and Noah grew closer, their connection gentle and unhurried. They didn't label it or rush it. It was built quietly, on trust, kindness, and shared laughter. One afternoon, Emma received a call from Tessa. You won't believe this, she said. Andrew and Vanessa are already divorced. Emma was silent for a long moment. I hope they find peace, she finally said. Tessa blinked. You really mean that? Yes, Emma said, because I did. That evening, she joined Noah and Lily at the park. Lily ran ahead, chasing butterflies. Noah turned to her. You ever think about how one awkward wedding invitation changed everything? She smiled. Sometimes I think it wasn't awkward. Maybe it was meant. He took her hand, thumb brushing her knuckles. Meant for what? For healing, she said softly. For kindness finding its way back. He smiled, leaning closer. For us. Years later, that wedding invitation still sat in a drawer, folded and worn. Emma never threw it away, not as a reminder of pain, but as proof that life's detours sometimes lead exactly where you're meant to go. Because what she found out next, after saying yes to being a fake date, wasn't heartbreak or revenge. It was the quiet discovery that love doesn't always come from grand gestures or perfect timing. Sometimes it comes from a single dad who teaches you that kindness can rebuild what pain once broke. And when Lily later asked, "Daddy, is Emma my mommy now?" Noah looked at her, smiling softly. "She's the one who made our home complete." Would you like me to extend this story with a heart-touching epilogue, showing Emma years later, as Lily's adoptive mom, telling her the full story of how one wedding led them to become a family? It would bring the story full circle and complete the emotional arc beautifully.